And we welcome you to the predictions for WrestleMania on This Is Wrestling. It is Lever Stage alongside Zach McGibbon. It is WrestleMania weekend, Zach. Not one, but two glorious nights in Vegas. And if you take out a second mortgage on your house, it's possible you could get a cheap seat to night one. Welcome to the program, Zach. How are you?
Doing pretty good, Lee. Yes, we are here. We are here to preview both nights of WrestleMania. I have already sold my arm on the black market to get ready for next year's WrestleMania, so I can at least get somewhat of the cash range for these tickets to go to WrestleMania. So but yes, we're looking forward to breaking down both of these nights and seeing how things will play out in the WWE over the weekend.
Let's get right into it. And night number one coming up on Saturday night. And we talked about it in our last program. I think it's really interesting to me. The theme of night number one is not the main event, but it is three guys in the main event who all lost at the Royal Rumble, while the people who won the Royal Rumble, Jey Uso, Charlotte Flair, challenging for WWE championships, are on Saturday night as well, lower down in the card. I know we spoke about it already, but really, Zach, to me, this is the theme of night number one, where we don't care what we promised at the Royal Rumble. We think the three biggest stars are guys who didn't win the Rumble. So we're going to put Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins in the main event. What do you think, or your kind of theme before we get into the matches of night number one? What do you think of the lineup for night number one? And do you think the WWE did it right?
No. To answer that last question, my general theme of night one is worse than night two, and underwhelming. I look at some of these matches and I am not exactly over the moon about what I am expected to get for my WrestleMania night one card for Saturday. And like what you mentioned, you have your main event of Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, three guys that lost in the Rumble. But I guess because of the power of the negotiating ability of Paul Heyman and the other favors that have been put out in this match, I guess we have our main event. And if you're Jey Uso, you are SOL, and you will open the show despite your name being main event Jey Uso, and you will like it. And you are going to get I'll tell you what, Lee, I want to know when it comes to this opening night, the opening show pop, right? Where you get the introduction and the fans are all excited. I want to know, because this guy has been in my purview the last couple of days since we last recorded. Will Triple H, will Paul Levesque get the opening night pop? Will he be the one that comes out first on night one so that he could get the pop? Or is Jey Uso going to come out first so that he could get the pop? That's going to be a test. I want to see what that guy, this very humble, this very wants to be behind the scenes, just writing his stories.
Stop it.
He's just writing his stories, Lee.
We're going to, Zach, I promise you, and I promise the listeners, we're going to get to what Triple H has said earlier this week, leading up to WrestleMania, and your thoughts on what he said. We will get to that later on. I promise you.
You're keeping me bottled up here, Lee. I've just been internalizing this.
Yeah.
But there is a general point.
It's a WrestleMania preview, so let's get to the WrestleMania matches before you shred the head of the company.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry, did I give that away?
Yes.
I think people who know you know that you're probably going to do that anyway, so I don't think I gave away all that much.
I'll find a way to weave it in somehow. But there is a correlation to this, and the reason why I bring it up, because I think we both agree that Gunther and Jey Uso are probably going to open the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jey Uso is going to win.
Okay.
I think they want that moment. I think they are committed to this story. They just want the moment of Jey Uso having all these people yeeting simultaneously all at once in Las Vegas, and people going crazy and getting that opening visual. And this is going to be a test for Jey Uso, because this is a guy that has not delivered in the ring. He just hasn't. He needs to step up here if he's going to be given the world title. I'm not saying that after this he's going to get a lengthy title reign. He's got to prove himself here. And the last couple of times he hasn't. I trust Gunther to go out there and have at least a good performance.
Yep.
Do I trust Jey Uso? I do not. So he's got to show that he's got it in him. He's got that dog in him to get himself into a prominent position and show that he belongs there when it comes to the World Heavyweight Championship. So I've got Jey Uso winning nonetheless and beating Gunther. I think that's how the story has been played out. I would laugh hysterically if Jey Uso loses. I'm not going to lie. I think it would be hilarious. But I am sticking with Jey Uso to win the World Heavyweight Championships to start off the show.
Okay, can I interest you, though, that the moment is Jey Uso coming out for the match and not at the end of the match? Is that still the moment?
I think it could still be a moment, but I don't think it is the moment. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
So you could sell me on it being a moment for sure, like having all these people yeeting. I can't believe I have to continue saying this, but in terms of yeeting. But yes, I think it's a moment. I don't think it can be the moment, especially with the way that they built him up over the last couple of months. It's been very up and down, and I think I'm being generous when it comes to that in terms of the build for Gunther and Jey Uso. I think the moment is for Jey Uso to win the title and have all those fans yeeting while he celebrates with the championship.
Yeah, I would agree here, where I don't see a place where Gunther retains. I told you I've been toying with the idea of Jey Uso turning heel and joining up with The Rock. I still think that is a possibility, that could happen. And there are some signs that lead up to that happening, but I'm not sure that happens before or during him winning the World Heavyweight Championship. I think it might happen afterwards. I think we can have a discussion on that. But does he win the world title at WrestleMania? I think the answer is yes. So I'm also going to pick Jey Uso. But to me, it's not about Uso winning. It is about, this might be his last chance to step up to the plate in a big spot. Because if he lets down here, even if he wins, and even if he joins The Rock, and even if he turns heel, you still have to have a legitimate champion.
Yep.
And he's had a lot of chances to step up to the plate. So can he do it in this one? I don't see a scenario that he doesn't win. I just wonder about the how and where the arc of his next 6 months are going to go. But I just don't see Gunther retaining here. I think Gunther can do some other things, and I'll be interested to see. Now, Gunther did sign recently, a new 4-year deal?
Definitely a long-term deal, yes.
With
a
the
bus.
WWE?
Yes, with a bus as well. He gets a bus.
Well, but that makes me really happy. That means that they have plans for Gunther after this, and he's not going to get lost. Because you and I and almost everyone would agree that he shouldn't, but still, to me, there was a fear that he would.
Yep.
And I don't feel like that anymore. So I think we both agree Jey Uso gonna beat Gunther for the title. Now, there's some other matches. I don't really know, to me, which order they're gonna be. I think we know what's gonna be out first on night one, which is Gunther and Jey Uso. I think we know what's last in Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. I would say that Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair is probably second last. If it's not, I'd be even more like, they're already in a bad spot on this card because they're on night one and they're not first and they're not last. So I would say that would be second last, but so we'll just go in that order. I'll throw you after this match, Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano, Chad Gable.
Is it Chad Gable? Do we know if it's Chad Gable? Could be anybody.
We don't know it. Could be.
Yeah, it could be. Could be Hulk Hogan for all we know.
Could know. It's a good point by you.
Yeah.
Could be.
Could be.
Could steal the show, this match. To me. As far as a wrestling match, certainly on night number one, it's the match I'm looking forward to most in the ring. Would you not say?
Definitely. I think a lot of people actually are kind of sleeping on this. It will really depend on which level of, which caliber of performer we get from Rey Mysterio in this match. But I think there are going to be some matches that might exceed some expectations because it is WrestleMania and guys want to go out there and put on a show and put on a high level performance. And so this could be one of them. And this is something that WWE fans have been getting behind with the El Grande Americano, which I am very confident I took that order when I used to work at Starbucks back in the day. So anyways, but nonetheless, it's kind of a coin flip for me. I think whoever this El Grande Americano guy is, again, could be anybody. I think he's going to get the victory here. I don't think it's going to hurt Rey Mysterio at all if he loses. I think all the focus has been with this Americano guy, and so I got him to get the victory.
Yeah, I'm right with you. I mean, I just can't see another scenario where, like, why would Rey Mysterio need to win this match? I didn't even expect Rey Mysterio to be on the card, to be quite frank with you.
Yeah. Well, everybody has to be on the card now, Lee. Like you, me, the people in the back, everybody has to get on the card somehow, some way, because it's WrestleMania.
Well, yeah, it is WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Let's go to the War Raiders and the New Day for the World Tag Team Championship. I'm wondering why the War Raiders would ever keep the titles here. That would be my question.
Yeah.
Why would they win? There's been so much focus on the New Day and where they're going. Do you think we see Big E in this match?
I don't think so. I don't think yet. The thing with the New Day stuff is, remember when this was like the hottest thing in the company when they turned heel? Now it's just kind of like, it's kind of there. I mean, there is a focus, I guess, but this was one of the hottest things in the company. And then they did promos each week on Raw, getting boos, from the fans and also from the audio file that they would play and, light up the fader on. But I ever since then, they've just kind of been, wandering aimlessly. And there really hasn't been this big focus on the World Tag Team Championships. I mean, I like the War Raiders, but they have not been like a central focus at all when it comes to WWE programming, despite them having the World Tag Team Championships. So, in my mind, I guess it would have to go to New Day if they're continuing on whatever story they want to go down with, whether Big E is involved or not. I feel like New Day would have to get involved somehow, some way. So I've got them winning the tag belts, but I think it's been, quite frankly, from the start of when they turned heel to now, they have significantly cooled off in terms of people talking about them and the interest levels. So
the only way I see the War Raiders hang on to the belts is if Big E comes out and costs New Day.
Yeah.
I don't see a tag team division that benefits from that, though. And maybe they don't care about the tag team division and they care about the Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods kind of split a little bit more. But I'll also take the New Day. I think it's just more interesting if they have the titles after this. Probably the match I'm looking forward to the least at WrestleMania, which is saying a lot considering there are a couple ones I'm not looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
But Jade Cargill and Naomi is probably number one on that list. I have interest in this to see whether Jade Cargill can carry herself in a big spot in a singles match, because I don't even think Naomi's very good. And to say that she's not good, I don't put Naomi in the category of being able to carry anybody.
No, definitely not.
So I would worry, like if Jade Cargill was in the ring with Charlotte Flair or with Bianca or even Rhea, I wouldn't worry as much. I worry about this match a lot to see. Like, my interest is it going to be really bad? That's my interest in this match, but I don't care who wins. And with Jade Cargill taking a pin, putting her shoulders to the mat about a month ago, there is zero chance to me she loses this match.
Yeah, this could be a disastrous match. Because, like what you mentioned, Naomi does not have the ability to carry another wrestler to a good match. She is usually the one that has to be carried to a good match. So now they've paired these two together. First of all, you know, our great booker of the year really just knocking out of the park with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair being a tag team. They win the tag team belts, eventually lead to the separation, and you would think it would lead to a one-on-one match between these two at WrestleMania. But of course, that is not the case. And instead, we are going to have Naomi in there because she was the one that got attacked by Jade Cargill. And Bianca Belair benefits by having the Women's World Championship opportunity later on. And so, despite losing in the Chamber and in the Rumble, it's just another excellent masterclass here from our Booker of the Year, Paul Levesque. And so now, I guess on paper, he looks at this like I don't see how this is set up for Jade Cargill to succeed, even if she wins. Yep. Like, what benefit is there going to be after this? She beats Naomi and what, a bad match, probably going to be the worst match of the show. And
the answer, though, to that question is probably coming up in night number 2 with Io Sky, Bianca Belair, and Rhea Ripley.
You know, I used to remember when you would build up feuds and then there would be a blow off to that feud culminating at a big stage when something you build over the last couple of months, especially when it comes to a tag team. But I guess that is not the case here. And instead, we are going to have to endure Jade Cargill versus Naomi on this card. And if they give this longer than 10 minutes, I don't know what else you could say at that point. The poor road agent that has to lay this out for 10 minutes. I mean, that guy or girl, whoever is putting together the match, they got their work cut out for them if it's more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think that there's a question either. Is Jacob Fatu, to me, is going to be your new United States champion after beating LA Knight. And I think they gave Knight the title back just to put him in this position to lose to Jacob Fatu. But I just don't see any chance that LA Knight holds on to this championship. It wouldn't make any sense to me that he would.
I hope Jacob Fatu just throws around LA Knight for 5 minutes and just gets a dominant, clean victory. Pin him with one finger on his chest or something. Just something dominant to show that you're behind Jacob Fatu, because that's a guy that's getting over. And you want to make a statement against somebody, for however we feel about LA Knight in terms of a wrestler, he is still somewhat over to this crowd. People still like to say, yeah, even though we are far from the peak of his popularity. So having Fatu go in there and just dominate this guy and win and become the United States champion, I think would be a big thing for them. But watch it be a 15-minute match where the exchange holds, because that's just how wrestling works nowadays. But I've got Jacob Fatu winning as well. I can't see any other scenario where LA Knight retains.
I'm interested in the finish here between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. For whatever that was on SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, I think to say that it was completely scripted, I don't think would be proper. I don't know how far they were willing to go, but it got too inside. It got too awkward. They were trying to make something of it, even if they knew kind of where they were going. I don't think that it came off very well. Look, Charlotte Flair has looked a little bit lost since the Royal Rumble. You could tell me that she'd have much more interesting matches with people coming down the line if she were the champion. If I were booking, I would put Tiffany Stratton over her and make Tiffany Stratton into you could make Tiffany Stratton on this night. And I don't know if they have the gumption to do that, to a Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, but you could make Tiffany right now, and if Tiffany loses, I just see her as another person in a placeholder that was waiting for Charlotte Flair to come along. I guess if my gut tells me that Charlotte Flair will probably win, but if I were booking, it would be Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah, this match is interesting to me, but not because of the story that they told on TV, more because of that aspect of these two don't like each other. It's pretty clear that they're not exactly exchanging Christmas cards at the end of the year, and that there is an element of what's going to happen with these two in the ring, because what we saw a few weeks ago, we haven't really had the chance to talk about it when it comes to, you know, the comments and the derailing of the segment, where from what I gather, it seemed like Charlotte Flair, you know, went off the script a little bit, using some of her political power that she has in that company, and Tiffany just saying, you know what, I've had enough, I've got to defend myself here, and I'm gonna go and get a little bit of a dig in on you and a bit of a shoot, and we'll see how this goes from here. Because it was pretty clear as soon as Tiffany Stratton delivered that line about outside the ring endeavors that she had to get out of there and threw that microphone down. So I am interested in the sense that, you know, these two legitimately don't like each other, and can they, you know, get along to put together a match? We saw that they have at least done angles with each other last week, I should say. So, with all that being said, I feel like it's going to be Charlotte Flair as well. I would like it, much like you, I would like it to be Tiffany Stratton. I think this is also going to be a little bit of a test to see if Charlotte Flair is back to that level that we know that she can be, where she could go out there and have great matches. I recall back to her match with Rhea Ripley last year, and that was a tremendous match. So I wonder if we could get back to that level with Charlotte Flair. So I've got her winning. I think she's going to beat Tiffany Stratton here. I am very interested to see how it all kind of breaks down in the ring.
And we have the triple threat match that Seth Rollins called the most important triple threat match in the history of the business. Not sure why, but
like the business is going to die if he doesn't win, which is quite the statement, you know?
Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. I threw out all kinds of different scenarios in our last show. Zach, did you think about them? Did they settle with you? I'm very interested to hear not only who's going to win, but why they're going to win from you right now.
This one was tough to predict for me. I sat back and I pondered what you thought. I sat in my chair and went into my thinking pose, and I was thinking of everything that you outlined here when it came to this triple threat. And then I realized I'm thinking about this way too hard. It's WWE. You can't think too hard. You got to think about moments. I keep coming back to it. You got to think about moments. And there are two possible moments that could happen here that I was relaying in my mind. You have CM Punk finally in the main event of WrestleMania * night 1, but we'll put that off to the side. You have CM Punk finally in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania. And you might want to have the moment of him winning in the main event of WrestleMania, and that visual of him being able to accomplish his dream because he is the babyface in this match. You have the other moment, Lee, that could happen, where Seth Rollins talked about the favor, and Paul Heyman turns his back on both CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and he goes with Seth Rollins, and it sets a new course and a new path on what could happen after WrestleMania. And those were the two ideas that I was mulling about. I was leaning towards Seth Rollins over the last couple of days, but the CM Punk thought kept creeping in, but it wasn't enough to convince me. I'm going to pick Seth Rollins to win here.
Wow.
I know. I'm stunned too. I was thinking about Punk. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about the scenarios, and I was thinking to myself, what could really be something impactful that they could do and something different? Because we know that about the build to this and how it's been lackluster, and they want to change some fortunes. You want to change some fortunes? Let's change things up. Let's have Seth Rollins win in the main event. And let's have Paul Heyman go with Seth Rollins and see where we go from here. Let's change it up, Lee.
Okay.
Let's figure out a different path. I know for sure Roman's not winning this. He probably won't take the pinfall either. But
I would agree with both of those statements.
so I am picking Seth Rollins to win here.
I do have one question I didn't bring up on the last show.
Sure.
If there is a possibility of seeing somebody who was in the WWE before, but we have not seen him in a long time, I would think that this match would be that time.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar. Do you think it's a possibility that Brock Lesnar is involved somehow, some way, whatever, during this match?
Yes. I think that's a possibility.
Do you think it'll happen?
No, I don't think so.
So you're hedging here. You're hedging.
I will say I understand the thought process. Where does Paul Heyman's allegiance lie? He just goes back to old reliable and Brock. Yep. I understand the thought process, but I don't think Brock's coming back yet. I think they want to, but I think there are still things surrounding him when it comes to the lawsuit that, you know, despite this PR blitz that's been on for WWE over the last couple of days, I still think that they're going to try and play it safe with the Brock Lesnar stuff and not bring unneeded attention to the lawsuit. So I don't think Brock is coming back until whatever happens there gets resolved.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. Would you be disappointed, though, if I just told you that Brock Lesnar comes out in the match and helps CM Punk win this match? And you're left at the end with CM Punk winning, wondering what the hell just happened, and is he in line to team up with Brock Lesnar? Is he going to go up against Brock Lesnar? How's Paul Heyman going to be in the middle? I'm just asking you, if Brock Lesnar comes out and helps CM Punk win, whether Punk wants it or not, would that be a satisfactory ending to you?
For me, yes.
Okay. It would be for me too, because at the end of it, CM Punk winning in the main event is more interesting going forward. Whether he's with Paul Heyman or not, CM Punk winning and being a major player in the summer because he won this match is interesting to me. So I'm rooting for that, and I do want that to happen. And if Brock Lesnar is involved, great. If he's not, great. But my prediction is Seth Rollins as well. And it is Seth Rollins with an assist from Paul Heyman, but not on purpose. Or it's not revealed yet that the two are in complete cahoots. So I do think that the end of night number one should be, as a main event, should have a conclusion to it that you kind of know, okay, this is what's happened. But as we know, last year and the year before, they're starting to get into how does night number one affect night number two? And last year was right there because the same people were involved, right?
Yep.
And I do think that that is something that they're going to stick with. I think somehow, some way, we are going to see night one and the end of this match roll into night number two. And the best way for that to happen, in my opinion, is Seth Rollins winning. And maybe even you kind of wonder about if he's on Paul Heyman's side or not at the end of it, but Seth Rollins stands tall. And, you know, we'll get to night number two, and if that's possible. But I'm also picking Seth Rollins to win the triple threat match, but secretly kind of hoping for CM Punk, and would be very disappointed if Roman Reigns won.
I was just going to say, watch it be Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
standing tall.
Yeah. hearing that music again for the umpteenth time,
Yeah.
like the memes of WrestleMania 2039 and
Yeah.
after Roman Reigns beat Cody in the first one,
Yes. Bring the
right?
chaos now. Now that you're laying
And-
it out, I want chaos.
Yeah,
Give me chaos.
let's just have him be the guy and win every match for the next 20 years.
And Paul Heyman sticks with Roman Reigns. Yeah. Let's go predictable. I love it.
All right. Night number 2 at WrestleMania. And I think it's going to start off with Io Sky and Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Tell me I'm wrong.
It would be hard to argue against. The only other match I could possibly see is maybe AJ Styles, Logan Paul. Maybe.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental title. But I know it won't be Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria or whatever her name is. No,
that's not going to kick off the show.
Damian Priest will also not kick off the show.
No.
No, we're gonna start with Io Sky as the champion against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Triple threat match for the Women's World Championship. And I say this with all due respect to Io Sky, who I love watching as a performer and think she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. She does not need to be in this match. In fact, I think this match is worse with her in it. I would have liked to have seen Bianca and Rhea. However, Io's the champion. And for me, this is getting Bianca Belair back on top. And I do think that Jade Cargill winning on night number 1 and Bianca winning the Women's World Championship will set up Jade and Bianca down the line for the championship. I don't see even another way. Rhea doesn't need to win. In fact, when she's on top, it's hard to look at her programs to me as entertaining or what is it that I would be curious to see if people are challenging her. I think she's much better in the challenging position. So I think Bianca, whether she turns full heel or not, I think Bianca is winning this match for me, absolutely, and is going to walk away the new Women's World Champion.
I agree. I'm also picking Bianca Belair. I echo a lot of what you said there. You all heard my reviews of Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. I felt like I was being tortured for a year with some of these the storylines that were presented in that feud. Mm-hmm. I do not want to go through that torture again. I'm not even going to mull that over. I think get the belt in a different direction with Bianca Belair and get her back going. Will that lead to a Jade Cargill match? Probably. Does that excite me? No. But in terms of the way that this belt will go, I am going to agree. I think it's going to be Bianca Belair that will get the victory here.
Well, let's get right into it. Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Bayley, and Lyra for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship.
It is a match on the card.
It is a match on the card.
Of all the matches that have taken place at WrestleMania, this is certainly one of them.
Yep, it is.
So that's my analysis of the match, and I think we could pick the winners here, but I think the real loser of this match is going to be the fans. So I mean, who really cares who wins here? I will just say Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez only because that is the familiar names, and that is something, an act that they continue to push. So I'm going to say they retain the belts here.
There's no question that Liv Morgan is the most important woman in the foursome here, as far as the WWE is concerned.
Yes.
So my only question is, do they have a program for Liv Morgan after this if she loses the tag team championship? Do they have a significant program for her? My quick answer would be no. And so I do think they're retaining.
Yes. Well, could this set up Liv Morgan versus Lyra Valkyria for the Women's Intercontinental Championship?
Let's move on to AJ Styles and Logan.
Oh, not even going to mull that question over.
Nope.
Oh.
I don't want to waste any brain power with that question.
Okay. I will. I'm gonna assume you said yes, and we'll move on.
AJ Styles and Logan Paul. I think this is the perfect opponent again for Logan Paul. I think they've done really well with putting Logan Paul in positions to be with people. I think the only one I would question is kind of the Roman Reigns one. But that was in Saudi. Nobody really saw it. I think they've done really well at highlighting what he's good at and putting him in the ring with people that can obviously help him out. AJ Styles is one of the best ever. I don't even have a question that this is going to be a good match. My question for you is, at some point, we've kind of seen the same Logan Paul shtick. And I like him. I really enjoy watching Logan Paul, but I do need something different from him. And I'm wondering if this can be a springboard for a bit of a different look or vision for Logan Paul. I'm actually a bit torn in this match, so I want to hear your thoughts.
I mean, he certainly, it's in terms of his character, he's definitely been the same guy. And there would need to be some sort of evolution here. I mean, there is the possibility. There has been some rumors floating around about AJ Styles and his status with WWE, and if he's going to be in the company much longer. It sounds like his contract is going to expire pretty soon. And I haven't heard anything about him getting extended. Could this be an opportunity to, have Logan Paul beat AJ Styles, and as AJ Styles puts over the guy on the way out, and then Logan Paul can use that as heat if he wanted to? I could see that happening. I certainly can't see, if you're trying to evolve his character, I can't see him a path for him going back to being a babyface like he debuted in the company as. So, it's tough, right? Because it's like, at some point you do want to kind of see more of that evolution of him as a character and as a wrestler. So, I've got Logan Paul winning this. I think it's I don't see AJ Styles winning. I think like with Rey Mysterio, I think AJ Styles is one of those guys where you could beat and there won't impact him. He's still kind of a name that people want to see. I think it would be more impactful if Logan Paul wins, so I'm going to pick him to get the victory.
Yeah, I guess the only part of it is that AJ is a veteran that, has had a couple of injuries, and, do they want him to go on to be a little bit more prominent in the next little bit if he is going to stay there? I don't think it hurts either guy to lose, to be honest with you. I don't think it hurts Logan Paul to lose to an AJ Styles and then come back out and get in another feud with somebody else. Like, if he puts on a really good performance, and I'm assuming he will with AJ Styles, I'm going to pick AJ Styles in this match only because I think that there's some respect there that they're going to want to keep. And I just don't think it hurts Logan Paul. But I don't know. I think it's interesting. Anyway, and I'm looking forward to the match. I really am. I do want to jump in here before we get to a couple of the other matches. So the Randy Orton thing. Do you think it's Nick Aldis? I know we're taping here on Thursday and SmackDown has not aired on Friday. Do we think it's Nick Aldis? Do we think it's somebody else that Randy Orton is going to get into the ring with?
I could see it being Nick Aldis. We've heard about potential signings of Rusev or Aleister Black coming back to WWE. I could see either of those guys being the mystery opponent. They could bump up some debuts if they wanted to.
But here's the thing with that, Zach. Are you really going to debut Aleister Black, and is Randy going to put them over? Like, is Randy Orton at WrestleMania putting over Miro or Aleister Black? Like, ask yourself, this is Randy Orton. He kind of doesn't do a lot of favors for people. I don't know. I just don't see that. Do you? Like, it doesn't make sense that you would debut someone and then what? Orton's going to beat them?
It's true. It's true. And I'm sure Nick Aldis has been wanting to get into the ring. Like, make no bones about it. Like, you think he wants to be the GM he wants to get in the ring. And so he'll do anything to get in the ring. And if that means losing to Randy Orton, he'd probably see that as a privilege to lose to Randy Orton at WrestleMania.
I agree.
So I think Nick Aldis is the strong candidate here. You know, if Randy Orton's willing to play ball and willing to, you know, get some people over, like the idea of Aleister Black or Rusev is intriguing to me. But obviously we saw how it's played out on TV with Nick Aldis, so I'm sure we'll get another very exciting Randy Orton match, of course, and just gonna really lock in that hammer lock, and he's just gonna really wrench in those holds and target body parts and just show what a great in-ring general he is. So
I'm going to cut you off and just say that if this is Solo Sikoa, because he doesn't,
don't even throw that into the universe. If it's
Solo, Solo's not on the card.
I know, but I don't want him on the card.
Do you expect to go both nights without seeing Solo Sikoa?
Oh God, if it's Solo Sikoa,
I'm telling you, you're going to see his face on like somewhere. I'm not saying it's here. I'm just saying we're not going 2 nights without seeing that guy, are we?
Well, I mean, he might run in. Who knows? He might run in during the Roman match. Who knows? God, I hope it's not Orton. That I would confess to crimes I didn't commit if I have to just for the opportunity not to watch Solo Sikoa versus Randy Orton. Like, please, Hunter, Paul, please don't do this. Don't do this. That's a threat if you book this match on this card as your surprise opponent.
I would be disappointed if it's either Aleister Black or Miro and Randy doesn't put them over. Like, I just don't see a great match with Randy at that point. And so I know we're sitting here talking about it. It might be revealed on SmackDown, but my best bet would be Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis wants to get back in the ring. Nick Aldis would absolutely do the job, and Nick Aldis could have a role as the general manager that gets more interesting, getting in the ring and taking a loss to Randy Orton. I actually think that's pretty interesting.
Yep.
So I would go with Nick Aldis. Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre, Sin City street fight. Can you believe it? Let's put Damian Priest in another street fight. I have no time for Damian Priest here, and I think they've been screwing Drew McIntyre time and time again. And I'm done with it. So I'm picking Drew McIntyre, and I don't think it's close.
I am also picking Drew McIntyre. I'm sure we'll get all of our different props in the street fight. Maybe they'll be fighting into the casinos at Las Vegas. Maybe there'll be a spot where they, instead of thumbtacks, it's poker chips, and somebody takes a choke slam into the poker chips, because it is, as you know, Lee, a Sin City street fight. And I cannot think of more apropos weapon to use in a Sin City street fight than poker chips. So that is my prediction. And I'm going to pick Drew McIntyre.
Okay, the 4-way match, fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker defends against Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. You like Dominic here, don't you?
Oh, you know me, Lee. Big Dominic Mysterio guy. Oh, just the biggest fan. Yeah. Love every time he's out there. Just taking up TV time. And now he's in an opportunity here in this fatal 4-way for the Intercontinental Championship. I just love it. I am sure there's a reason they've put him in a 4-way match and not in a singles match. Because you put him in a singles match and like they love to smoke and mirrors Dominic Mysterio like it's no other. They put so many smoke and mirrors when it comes to Dominic Mysterio's matches. And this is the perfect opportunity to have Dominic Mysterio go in there. He might do a couple of spots, and then he'll roll out of the ring, and you never hear from him for like 5 minutes. Then all of a sudden he'll come back in, get his ass kicked, and then he'll roll out and he doesn't have to do any more spots because that's how 4-way matches go. Having said all of this, Lee, I think there is potential of this being a fun match. I know. You might be as shocked as I am at saying this, but I think I really like Braun Breaker. I think he's been improving quite a bit. I think he's finding that confidence that he was lacking in NXT and that charisma that I was wanting from him to just be this wrecking machine. Penta's a guy that's going to go out and just do all these big spots. And Balor's a good enough wrestler where he can be able to go with the flow of the matches. And then you could just keep Dominic Mysterio out of the ring for long enough periods of time where he won't be a factor to screw everything up. And you could just smoke and mirrors him. So this might be one of those sneaky fun matches that they do where they just go out and they just do spots. And, you know, it's going to be very funny when they go out and do spots. And all the same WWE fans that criticize AEW for doing spots will love watching this match where all the spots happen. So that is what I am anticipating. I think Braun Breaker is going to retain. I do think, though, I should mention this. Penta has lost some steam since his debut on Raw a couple months ago now. I would have liked to have seen Braun versus Penta in the one-on-one, but instead they did that on Raw. But again, everybody has to get a spot on the WrestleMania card, and that includes Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio, and that's where they slot them in. And so, my prediction is Braun retains the Intercontinental Championship.
I'm picking Dirty Dom Mysterio
Oh, no.
to be your Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, jeez. God help me.
I don't disagree that I think he's not going to be involved in a lot of the match, but I do think he's going to sneak in and win. And I do think it's really easy for him to pin Finn Balor on this and save Braun, right? And save. This is why they do these matches, because they are not going to want to hurt Braun Breaker or Penta. And Braun Breaker, to me, he's this guy now that I want to see, even if he's a heel, I want to see him in the challenger position to come out and be angry and spear everybody and just be on this warpath to get back to win a championship that he never lost. It's almost a face run, just under a heel mask. Because that's what faces do. They're mad and they challenge and they chase after time and time till they finally get back what they want. And that's what I see here. I see you can keep Braun strong. You can even decide to put him in other programs, or you can go out and have him annihilate people for a couple of months to finally go get his title back. Or maybe you don't put it on. Maybe he becomes a bit of a face because he's ultimately a Steiner. And people like seeing him run out and spear people. It's fun. It's a moment. It's a spot, Zach, if you will. But I am going to pick, I think the story is better here for Dominic Mysterio to be your Intercontinental Champion. And I'm going to pick him. I really think he's going to win.
You know what I hate about that?
That it's logical?
Yes.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
I could totally see it. I just...
Right. It makes sense.
Yeah. This is what Seth Rollins was talking about when talking about the business being killed. If if Dominic Mysterio wins.
No. That's fun TV.
Is it?
Okay, before we get to the main event, I do want to ask you about surprises, celebrities. There's a lot of people thinking that Stone Cold Steve Austin's going to make his way out at some point. Where else do you see, like, what are your surprises that aren't necessarily listed on the card?
Oh man, I have a surprise that I think is going to happen, but I think it will be for later for the match we'll be talking about.
Okay.
Should I reveal it now or should I save it?
No, if it's for the last match, but are there any other, like, do you think we see Aleister Black? Do you think we see Miro? Do you think we see whether it's, Austin or like other, anything that doesn't have to do with the last match, do you see people coming out there and celebrities or whatever? Like anything else trigger you here? Like even we talked about Big E. We
Yep.
talked about Brock Lesnar. We
Yep.
talked about like I think it's possible that we see Becky Lynch.
Yep.
Before night 2 is over. So yeah, I mean, there's some people that aren't around that we could see. I'm just asking, for your thoughts on that before we get to it.
Yeah, I don't have anything other than the ones that we previously mentioned that kind of sticks out to me. It would be interesting to see if they decide to debut Aleister Black or Miro / Rusev at whichever point of the card here. I mean, I think it'd be cool if they did a Jacob Fatu Rusev face-off after Fatu wins the U.S. belt. You got a new program out of that. That could be cool. But otherwise, there's no other surprise that's kind of sticking out. I'm sure we'll get, our celebrity appearances in Las Vegas. I'm sure we'll get a camera shot of the Las Vegas Raiders and all that.
No, but that's not. I'm talking about, like we're gonna see. How about Alexa Bliss? Do you think we see her again?
I think Alexa Bliss is going to be gone for a while.
Okay.
I don't
Do you
see
think we
her.
see? Do you think we see Austin?
Potentially. But I don't think for a big time angle or anything like that. I think just an appearance.
Do we see somebody that kind of lines up with, because Travis Scott will be there. I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yep.
Do you think we see somebody kind of line up against Travis Scott? Bad Bunny, perhaps?
Bad Bunny versus Travis Scott.
I'm just saying, like, do we see someone line up against him? Yeah.
I mean, can't rule it out. I can't rule that one out. I was gonna joke maybe the Blue Man Group will make a run in because it is Las Vegas and they do shows there.
Oh, there you go.
What
about your boy Jeff Cobb?
That would be cool. I think if you set up like a Miro or a Jeff Cobb or somebody against Jacob Fatu, that would be cool. I would be interested in that. You set up a program for that U.S. title right away.
Yeah. Well, there are some names that I think we could see between Big E, Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, Jeff Cobb, Aleister Black, Miro, Austin. There's 7 names right there that I think are possibilities to see on this card. All right, it's main event time. It's Cody Rhodes. It's John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. I don't know why they call it undisputed when there's another world championship in the company.
Yes.
It's actually ridiculous that they call it the undisputed WWE Championship
yes.
when there is another world champion in your company.
Oh, I've been saying this forever. It's like, what are we doing here?
No, well, we're just telling people what they want to hear.
They merged all the belts to create an undisputed championship only to create another world title. Like, yeah. Anyways.
I know. All right.
Just opening up an old wound there.
John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Let's go, Zach. What do you think?
So I'm actually interested in this match and where it could go. I think the build to this is just sucked, quite frankly. I mean, it's only John Cena turning heel. How could they possibly screw this up? It's the interest, the people talking about, going to Mania. Like, I don't know, I'm not feeling it this year. When John Cena turned heel this year, something we've been waiting for forever, since 2005 when he was a babyface. I don't know, I'm not feeling the build this year. How is that possible to have that feeling going into this?
What do you think of the match, Zach?
Sorry. So I've had a tough one with this because there's a part of me that's like, so one of the surprises I'm thinking about is The Rock showing up here.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to now stop you and get. There's a reason I didn't even mention The Rock. The Rock showing up as a surprise when The Rock was the one that ordered John Cena to turn heel against Cody Rhodes last month. It's not a surprise. The Rock is going to be there. Period. End of discussion. It's not a surprise. You want to tell me that, like, why or what he's going to do when he's out? Fine. I'd love to hear it. He's not a surprise. Okay? The Rock will be there. Period.
All right. Well, there you go. You heard it here, folks. The
Okay?
Rock will show
I'm
up.
telling you, The Rock, if The Rock does not show up at WrestleMania, tell me what you want me to do. Just tell me.
I want you to tell me I'm the greatest wrestling mind in the history of the business.
History of the business. I will double down. I will broadcast it as far as I possibly can, and I'll stay at the beginning of every show for the next 4 after that.
Oh, wow. Okay, great. Yeah.
But if The Rock does show up, what do I get?
Nothing. I
Right.
mean, nothing.
Okay. Yeah, nothing.
Nothing.
That's fine, Zach, because I'm that confident, okay? It's not even a question. The Rock will be there. So go ahead with your prediction.
All right. So there's a part of me that's like, The Rock's going to show up and he's going to help John Cena win the 17th world title, and we are going to set up our program. But there's also a part of me that's like, man, they have not talked about, other than one passing remark by Cody Rhodes in a promo with Cena, they have not talked about The Rock at all in this. Like, they haven't talked about Travis Scott and his involvement. It's just been John Cena going out there being like, you didn't like the spinner belt. You all booed me, even though we cheered for you for the last couple of years because you weren't on TV every week, but we're going to ignore that aspect. And we're going to pretend like it's 2016, 2015, and pretend that all of you have been booing me for the last couple of years. So this build, I've been teetering each way because I'm like, man, would this be the moment for John Cena to win his 17th world title as a heel? Is this the time? Or is there more that they could do here? They could delay the inevitable title win with John Cena later on when he finally turns babyface and realizes the error of his ways and Cody Rhodes wins. So that's why I am kind of thinking, like, if The Rock's there, I mean, you best believe that John Cena's winning this match. But if The Rock isn't there, then I don't know. I am unsure. I don't think John Cena would win if The Rock isn't there. So
Really? You can't see first of all, you can't see a shot where Cody Rhodes did sell his soul to The Rock? You can't see even a chance of that scenario happening?
I don't know if fans would like that after that segment.
Didn't ask what fans would like. I was asking if you think that could happen.
Very, very low. Very low.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see that happening at this stage. I think that would happen a little bit later if they were going to do it. I think it would just be too soon with the way that Cody delivered that promo at Elimination Chamber. Man, this has been a tough one. I'm still mulling it over in my head. I really have.
Okay, I'll take it from you, and I will tell you that I think that John Cena wins here. I don't think that that's the proper booking. In fact, I would not book it that way. But I do think that they're going to continue on here with John Cena winning the belt now, and then what they do later, I think they'll figure it out. But I do think as well that he's going to get some help. And I don't think that help is just going to come from The Rock. I don't think we're going to sit there and The Rock's going to come out and all of a sudden Cody never expected The Rock to be there and The Rock just helps John Cena win and that's it. I cannot see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think I'm going to double down on my prediction from the last show. I do think that at the end of this, Paul Heyman is going to be a very significant factor. And I think what we're going to get is Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, John Cena, and The Rock, and maybe Becky Lynch as well, all a part of closing out this night and celebrating John Cena's 17th World Championship and forming a group. And I think when you have the main event winner of night number 1 aligned with the main event winner of night number 2, forming a big group and setting his sights, Seth Rollins, very quickly on Jey Uso's World Heavyweight Championship and probably bringing it back to that group fairly soon. I love this scenario. I think it sets up for babyface Roman, babyface CM Punk, and babyface Cody Rhodes to all be looking to get after those guys. It just makes too much sense. I don't think that I don't think you could just close it out with John Cena winning with help from The Rock. I don't think that's big enough. And I also see a major shift here for Seth Rollins, who helped John Cena, as I laid out in the last episode. If you didn't hear it, ended up curb stomping CM Punk and letting John Cena win the title, and has talked about the death of the business and what's best for business. And The Rock is throwing out the best for business as well. I think there's an alignment here. I think John Cena wins. And I think it's with help because it explains a lot from Seth Rollins helping at Elimination Chamber. And it also explains how many times has Seth Rollins lost to Cody Rhodes, Zach?
Several.
And I think at the end of this, him helping John Cena, him being able himself to say he beat CM Punk and Roman Reigns in one night, and Paul Heyman is the conduit, the person who appears as the voice of The Rock after WrestleMania. So I'm sticking with that prediction. Laid it out last show. I thought about how many times I could change my mind, and I'm not changing my mind. John Cena wins with some help, and he wins his 17th championship. Okay, I delayed enough for you.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, as thinking it over, hearing how you laid out that stuff there, I don't think it's going to be that extravagant when it comes to a main event angle, but I do think it is going to set the tone for the next bit of WWE TV. And I said when John Cena was returning that he was going to challenge for the championship at WrestleMania. I didn't think it would be in this capacity as a heel, but I did say he was going to challenge for the championship and win it at WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 41, and get his 17th World Championship. And I'm going to stick with that. I'm going to pick John Cena to win. I am going to say that The Rock will get involved somehow, some way, and it's going to continue this heel faction, whether that be a Paul Heyman, maybe, whether it be a Seth Rollins, but I think what's going to be laid out here is going to be the story for the next little bit in WWE. I don't know if it's going to be all those people like a Seth and a Paul and a Becky Lynch and all that, but I do think there is going to be something that'll happen here when it comes to The Rock's story that he will be involved with. And so I'm going to pick John Cena to get the victory and get his 17th World Championship.
This will sound offensive to every critic out there. I wish I could tell people to bleep off for being a critic. Be a fan, go watch this, and be a fan. If I tell you to go to the movies and watch this movie and I saw it and it was really good, then just go to the movie as a fan. You watch the movie, have an opinion. But if I tell you, hey, go to this movie, give me a one-page detail, like things you like, things you didn't like, if it worked for you, if it didn't work for you, you watch it totally differently. You watch the product totally different. It ruins it for people. The world was so much better when nobody knew. And I'll repeat the first line again. I wish I could tell people to bleep off for being a critic. Be a fan. Go watch this and just be a fan. The words of Triple H this week. And it was a candid conversation, I love how they say it, with Peter Rosenberg on WWE's official YouTube channel. So It was a very, very candid conversation on their own channel.
Yes.
Zach, I think you have some feelings towards what Triple H had to say to the fans.
Oh, I had some thoughts. Absolutely, I did. You saw the text I sent over once I saw that clip being circulated around, and I had requested a few minutes, just like how a wrestler requests TV time to cut a promo on the television show. I went to you and I said, just a few minutes. I just wanted to get a few minutes to talk about this. This arrogant guy, this freaking guy, talking about, go be a fan. You remember what I said a couple of years ago, Lee, when Tony Khan talked about the Continental Classic Championship and how he told the fans to put their money where their mouths are, and how I was not happy about this. So before people even get on me and saying, oh, here goes Zach trying to do an anti-WWE rant and he's just mad about this, I have been nothing but consistent when it comes to this topic, okay? Nothing but consistent when it comes to this. So this guy wilts as soon as there's any sort of criticism to him. He has been riding the coattails of a storyline that he inherited with the Bloodline and with Cody Rhodes. He inherited those two aspects from Vince McMahon and has been able to be at the forefront of one of the hottest business periods in WWE's history. Financially, creatively, popularity-wise, you name it, he's been able to be at the face of this. But the moment people criticize the build and question why Jey Uso would be in a World Heavyweight Championship position and how they have doubts about his in-ring ability, this guy wilts under the pressure. The fact that all of a sudden the fan base is like, I don't know. Now he's going out there, he's pointing at people, and he's saying, oh, just go be a fan. Just go be a fan. I mean, this whole PR blitz here, Lee, the last couple of days from WWE, what has this PR blitz been? Like, I thought they were better at this when it came to their PR. Usually they're really strong with this. It's the reporters and the wrestling media that don't know how to, ask the real questions on any of this sort of stuff. But this PR blitz the last couple of days, first of all, Triple H has been everywhere. The very humble just wants to sit behind the scenes and get his pencil out and start, jotting down ideas. He doesn't want to be at the forefront of the of there. He probably had to be practically dragged to do the Tonight Show. Practically had to be dragged to do multiple podcasts. Practically had to be dragged to do a candid discussion, as you mentioned, on the WWE YouTube channel so that he could go to the fans that are watching on the YouTube. Don't be a critic. Just be a fan. Turn your brain off, consume product, get excited for next product. That's essentially what he's trying to tell you, the fans. This guy is such a fraud. So tired of having to hear about him, how great he is, Booker of the Year and all this stuff. As soon as any sort of pressure gets on him, we've seen it in the press conferences. Any sort of tough question that slips through from an actual good, wrestling media folk crumbles under the pressure. And it's happening here again. All of a sudden, look at this PR blitz. He knows that this WrestleMania build hasn't been good. Look at what's been talked about over the last couple of days. Nick Khan's going out there talking about AEW. Why? You're the number one company. You yourselves have talked about how everybody's our competition. Sports and television and entertainment. Everybody's our competition. Now Nick Khan's going out there talking about AEW. Triple H is talking about, going out there and talking about how the fans, they should be fans. No, the critics should just shut the bleep up. Don't say anything. What has been this PR blitz here, Lee? Do they know that they have a WrestleMania show? WrestleMania is taking place this weekend. And all these guys are talking about AEW, Donald Trump. They're talking about Hulk Hogan. Who cares? We all saw what happened with Hogan months ago. We're still talking about Hulk Hogan in April? What are we doing here, Lee? I'm so sick of this guy. I'm so sick of Paul Levesque. I swear to God, Lee, like I said at the top of the show, if they do that opening pop at WrestleMania and he's the first guy out there and he doesn't let Jey Uso get out there. I mean, what else can you really say at that point? This very humble wants to be behind the scenes writing up stories. This guy, I mean, he's going to be, as soon as this WrestleMania is done and he actually has to put together his own stories, because we went through this undercard. We went through everything in this undercard. This undercard stinks, Lee. It's WrestleMania. They have 14 matches as we're talking about this. 14 matches. And how many are you legitimately excited for? 2? Both of them the main events? Nothing on this undercard. Nothing. And that's all from storylines. Again, inheriting the bloodline and having Cody Rhodes. What is the original thought that this guy has had? His first idea when he debuted as the new creative lead for WWE was Damage Control. How's that doing, Lee? Tell me how the Wyatt Six are doing, Lee. Are they on the card?
No, they are not.
Where is Alexa Bliss? She debuted at the Rumble. She got a big pop. What's she doing?
Not around, Zach.
Nothing. She's doing nothing. She's not there. Omos went to Pro Wrestling Noah and got over. What did they do? They stopped his run in Noah and haven't put him on TV since. He's benched. I mean, what are we doing here? I am so sick of hearing about how great this guy is when it comes to creative ideas. He hasn't had an original creative idea since his time as the lead. All the ideas have been inherited to him, and the bloodline stuff, I would argue, is more of the ideas of Paul Heyman. So I am sick of this guy being so front-facing, and the nerve of this guy. As soon as any sort of pressure gets on his way, he wilts. He wilts, loses it.
Yeah, and so where I would agree with you here, and that was quite a few minutes. I appreciate that coming. That at the end of a podcast, you still have that much fire.
You bottled me in. I was keeping this bottled in,
like a rat in a cage.
Yes, it was a caged animal.
The part where I will agree with you is, first of all, if I buy or take time or watch your product, I can do anything I want because I am continuing to watch your product. If you are mad that you are hearing from people that are criticizing you that are not watching your product, okay, I can understand that. But imagine any other, like we say all the time, right? Whether it's sports and it's teams, like there's entertainment in the building, but ultimately your team has to win. You would never tell a fan how to be a fan. And people go, well, that's sports because your team wins, your loses, they're mad. Like, okay, then let's go to movies. If I go to a movie, I don't care that somebody told me to go to the movie. And they're not asking me to write a one-page dissertation on the movie. If Zach, you told me to go see a movie and the movie sucked, I'd come back and tell you this movie sucked and this is why.
Yep.
And if I go and see the Nutcracker, if I go to see ballet or I go see the opera or I go see Broadway, imagine the people of Broadway or people that go to the opera, go to wherever, and you telling them how they should be enjoying the product that you're giving them. Imagine that. So where I do agree with you and where I get fired up is if I am taking the time to watch your product, I can goddamn take in your product any way I want. You don't get to tell me how I take in your product. You can only look at it this way. No, actually, I can look at it anyway. If you want me to keep watching, then shut up and stop talking and let me consume the product the way I want to consume the product. If you want to put your product out to people that you think are appreciating it more, okay. But I have every right to take in your product. And like, this podcast and wrestling fans exist, except for the social media people that just want to chime in on stuff they don't know anything about.
Yep.
But that's the whole world. That's not professional wrestling. We all do it because we actually want it to be better. We love wrestling. We love whatever product you follow. You love it and you want it to be better. And sometimes that's why you're critical of it, because you want it to be better, because you love it. You don't get to tell me how to take in your product. Being a fan is a fanatic. That's what fan is short for, a fanatic. So if I'm a fanatic and you're going to give me Jade Cargill and Naomi and tell me to stop being critical and just enjoy it, there's nothing to enjoy. So do you want me to stop watching? Do you want me to completely turn away from your product? Or do I get to watch your product and go, I don't like this. This is what I think should happen instead. This is more what I'd like to see. Because what we hear from all the time, more than anything, is our job is to listen to the fans and give them what they want. We hear that all the time, right?
Yep.
Except when they don't like it. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish with this, and I always think that there's methods behind the madness, and this just isn't an aloof comment. And like, what is he trying to accomplish? Is he trying to get Zach McGibbon angry? Maybe.
Worked if that's the case.
Yeah, maybe. But what is it that he's ultimately trying to do? Like, do we believe him when he's saying this as opposed to other things? I'm not sure I do. So I take everything with a grain of salt, because I don't want to just believe him in times where he says comments like this as opposed to other things. But regardless, I don't know what he was trying to accomplish. I don't get the method behind the madness here. And if I take in your product, I can do anything I want.
I think he thinks that he is. They want him to be the forefront, the face of the WWE, moving away from the Vince McMahon stuff. And I think he thinks he's this great spokesman for the company, and he can portray himself as this knowledgeable and intellectual type that, because of the creative and the turnaround of the company. But he was not exactly the greatest promo when he was also in Wrestling Lee. You know, the other wrestlers during the peak of the Attitude Era would make fun of his cadence. I heard The Rock do that all the time. Funny enough, when I bring him up. So I just think he thinks he's a great spokesman, but he's not. As soon as there's some sort of criticism or controversy or something that he has to address, I think he wilts so badly. See it time and time again. And I think he does not like whenever there's any sort of tough question that's brought forward from him, whether it's from the wrestling media or whether it's from actual media. I think he's just bad at it. He thinks he's good at it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any sort of method to the madness, you know?
Well, I always think with smart people, Zach, that there is, and there's something that they want. It's his own channel. He wants to get something across. This isn't a flippant comment on a quick Jimmy Fallon or Tonight Show thing. This is his own channel with his own reporter. Like, this is something he wanted to get across.
Mm-hmm.
So it's intentional. It's just, what are you trying to accomplish by it? I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't. And I don't enjoy when people tell fans how to be a fan.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yep.
Like, I can be a fan any way I want, as long as I'm not doing, like, stupid stuff. And I'm not talking about the over the line people that you just get to, cross the line when it comes to being a fan. We all know the difference of what we're talking about here. I get to be critical on things I don't like as a fan. What do you think happens when your favorite hockey team or football team? What do you think it was like in Dallas this year with the Cowboys?
Oh, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell us, guys. We're gonna just enjoy the games. Just go out there, even if they lose. Just enjoy it. That's not how fans work.
Nope.
So why would you think it would work in this scenario? And the quick answer to people would be like, oh, because it's choreographed, because it's fake. As opposed to the NFL or the NHL or the NBA. Okay, again, my point would be when Broadway or the opera or the ballet or whatever it is, whatever movie you put out, they're not real either. They end the same way, and you don't get to tell people how to enjoy their show. So don't do it. Just don't do it. I'll try and put this one behind me, but I didn't like it either, Zach.
Yes.
WrestleMania
angered.
41. Okay, WrestleMania 41.
Yes.
I'm hoping to feel good after it's over. It's a 2-night affair. It's a little bit lengthy. Of course, it coincides with a lot of things happening this weekend with some hockey playoffs, NHL, the Menace, with all kinds of people. But it should be a fun weekend. I am looking forward to it. I do want to see the show, and I'm going to be critical but I still want to watch it. So looking forward to that, and then looking forward to, I know that AEW had a pretty decent show. They had a big lineup, that's for sure, on Dynamite. So we'll talk about that next week, and we'll do a WrestleMania recap right after the event. Zach, I am looking forward to it, whether it's good or whether it's bad or whether it's in between. I'm looking forward to talking about it with you very shortly after the WrestleMania card.
Yes. Well, it will be interesting to see. Who knows? Maybe this pent up rage will continue after the show, after the next 2 nights, or it over delivers. I am hoping for the latter, and it over delivers, just for the sake of my mental sanity.
For Zach McGibbon, who will be with us, I promise, next week, okay? Lever Stage, thanks for listening to our WrestleMania prediction show on This Is Wrestling.